Smacking S'mores presents The March to YouTube Domination. Dateline Hollywood. A plucky red-haired beauty hatches her plan to conquer the internet by gaining 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. But she can't do it alone. Only you can help her in her quest to achieve YouTube greatness by liking, subscribing, and most importantly, sharing her videos. Remember, it's up to you to fight the evils of YouTube suppression and the evil corporations who want to keep you down by clicking the like button as we march our way to YouTube domination.
Mom, you used the term SJW.
Oh no, that is a term literally worse than anything we've ever heard ever in the history of humanity. Cancel The Simpsons immediately. Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube consumer advocate, Harpy. The Simpsons is still on? Really, I kind of forgot about it. It's one of those shows that you just don't watch because they haven't been relevant in, 20 some odd years. I'm actually the same age as Bart Simpson, or at least I would be had he actually aged as he went throughout time, if you go by, the TV show version. We're both in 5th grade at the same time. Anywho, The Simpsons is one of those shows that I only really notice whenever they cancel either a Pooh, you got rid of Hank Azaria from being a Pooh, you got rid of, Harry Shearer stepped down as Dr. Hibbert now, so only segregated voice actors can really play their segregated character based on, is it to the point where we have to have only specific ethnicities per show? That's probably when they should cancel it entirely, if not already, because let's face it, the show has gone beyond its welcome. It's worn out its welcome, to be perfectly honest. This is one of those shows that, now that society has kind of changed to this topsy-turvy, crazy Looney Tunes sort of world, where we have pretty much the same type of crap running around happening as it did back in the early 90s, do you remember the PMRC? You remember the moral majority? You remember all the people trying to censor everything? Do you remember a day and age when they were talking about how Dungeons and Dragons was it was gonna cause your children to raise up the devil or something like that. Anywho, we are now to the point where Lisa Simpson on the show, we you know her, you love her, we see her. She's still the most insufferable sort of social justice-y type, except now she's more representative of like the mainstream media corporation. She isn't this kid hanging out with Paul and Linda eating her vegan stuff. She's this insufferable, annoying, condescending, sort of wokier than thou personality, even more so than she already was. And she was pretty darn insufferable in the beginning. She was pretty much one of those people, I'm only going to eat vegetables. I'm not going to eat meat anymore. And I'm going to complain and read about, and it was an exaggeration. It was always an exaggeration. I think we're kind of we're kind of past the point where it's cute and funny anymore. And we're kind of the point where, all right, we're sick of this. We're kind of tired of this. And let's take a look at the rest of this clip. There's a whole clip here talking about Lisa schooling Marge on social justice warrior. This is pretty much exactly what she did when Marge said foliage instead of foliage 25 years ago. I'm not going to pull up that clip because why would I? What else is going on here?
Yes, I know. The Springfield juniper's wealthy.
Ooh! Marge thinks it's something else. Typical Marge. This is very typical Simpsons.
No, SJW stands for Social Justice Warriors.
Yeah, the wackos who go around trying to ruin everybody's fun. The guys who pretend that they're wokier than thou because what? They're trying to impress a bunch of assholes on Twitter. That's what it really feels like. These are the people who don't actually care about causes. They just care about you thinking that they care about causes. That's what it boils down to. These are people who wanted half of the country to be rounded up and re-educated. These are the people who wanted half the country to get everything they deserved for voting in a perfectly legal manner. And we're not getting into which side anybody. Who cares? It's irrelevant. It's all distraction and noise. It's all to keep everybody fighting and bickering. And this is just one more example of that, isn't it? Let's see what else she has to say.
That's what right-wing trolls call anyone who cares about positive social change. Look.
All right, right-wing troll. And so right-wing trolls call people who care about positive change social justice warriors. No. Here's where you're mistaken, Lisa. Here's where you're mistaken. You call anybody right-wing, even if they are pro-choice lately, even if they're for gay rights, even if they are... if they're not pro-segregation, they're pretty much labeled as right-wing nowadays. And that's about as much politics ball as I really get into in this channel. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care if you vote. And the social justice types absolutely do. They will label anybody right-wing who isn't constantly obsessed and bashing the orange dude. You know that guy. Is he still around? I don't even care. This is why I don't care about politics, because it has become such a massive amount of just garbage and reeing, bratty name calling. It's childish anymore. It is childish. This is what happens when you close down positive outlets for people to root for their side, to root for their tribe. This is what happens when you close down all the sports ball things. Because, let's face it, politics has become sports ball. That's why I call it politics ball. It is just, whose team are you cheering for at this point? And you got some people who are a little bit more, I don't know, hypocritical than others. Some sides that are a little bit more, I don't know, acting exactly like the thing that they were against 30 years ago. You have some sides who don't know when to shut the hell up. And I think the rest of us are getting tired of it. I mean, I think the rest of the normal, regular, everyday, average people are getting a little tired of being labeled right-wing for not liking censorship, for not liking a bunch of wokier-than-thou religious zealots popping their heads into our entertainment, into our culture, pretending like they actually, when they don't. Did you see all the tweets recently and all of the examples? And I wish I would have pulled some of these up, but like I said, I don't really follow a lot of this. But I keep seeing a lot of these people complaining about Texas opening up. And I'm like, you're the same people who were mad and telling them they got what they deserved when their power went out. Now you're mad and you're like, oh, well, we just care. No, you don't. You're telling these people that they can go and freeze and starve for all you care because that's what they get. That's what they deserve. So no, you don't actually care. You're not actually going to convince me that you actually care for anything other than a few Twitter impressions and clicks and your little endorphin rush when you get your little likes and your retweets, because you get approval from a bunch of assholes you don't know on social media. And let's face it, stop coddling the SJWs. They're a bunch of crybabies who just are out there trying to impress each other. It's just shit slinging. It's just grandstanding. It's just a bunch of people trying to give the impression that they actually care without doing anything other than stirring up shit and riling people up and setting them off. Like, ooh, if I say this, that's going to trigger those people. And if I say this, that's going to trigger this side. Which is why I try my best to kind of stay neutral, even though I'm sure they've labeled me right-wing all over the place, which, like I said, anybody who's not pro-segregation at this point is labeled right-wing. So what are we really supposed to learn from this? What else do you say, Lisa?
Look at the other online petitions your supporters have backed.
Oh, shut up. Here's all the things that other people like you have said. That's how they do it. They gang up on you and they try and shame you, especially if you're somebody like me who doesn't really pay a whole lot of attention, who might be a little ignorant to some of these situations and some of these things. And you know what's fun? Making them mad, making these people mad, because what are they? They're a bunch of childish, screaming brats who just want to throw their little temper tantrum on social media. It's kind of fun to poke at them, to poke at people like Lisa Simpson. Also, why is she yellow? Isn't that supposed to be offensive to they got mad over the Dr. Seuss books when they had yellow people, despite the fact they only had 4 fucking colors that they were, four of them, that they were actually pulling from a lot of those Dr. Seuss books, which is why bunnies were yellow too. Oh, who cares?
Oh boy. A signature's a signature?
A signature's a signature. It is absolutely. A signature's a signature. Oh, there's an article to go along with this from Bounding Into Comics, but I wanted to dissect the clip before we really got into it. Also, shout out to them. Stop calling the SJWs The Simpsons asserts SJW is a term only used by right-wing... Well, let's face it. Lisa is the only character that would say something like that. I didn't see the entire episode because, let's face it, who cares about The Simpsons anymore? And yeah, can we stop coddling to the SJW types? Can we stop with this loud, annoying propaganda? That's what it really, really feels like. They're like the one politics ball channel I even pay attention to was basically stating how somebody he knows talks about all the censorship, all the garbage, all the reeing, all the crying, that they wouldn't be trying so hard to shove out all of these narratives, all this propaganda, all this bullshit, if they weren't scared that they were wrong, that they were losing, that they were incorrect. Let's face it, you have a tiny little percentage of people who are online who actually talk about and participate in this shit. You have a tiny little percentage of people who care enough to get online and ree and scream. And I'm not talking about people who actually care for causes, like the people who actually go out and fundraise and fly to other countries to build, people like Drunk 3PO in our own community. That's somebody who I actually think cares, because this is somebody who's putting their time where their Twitter impressions are, right? They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're actually going and building schools. They're actually going and making people's lives better. Your typical SJW is not doing that. Your typical SJW is too worried about stalking somebody's social media account for things that they can report from years ago and archiving and screenshotting and saying, is this you? Is this you? Those are the people who really need to be canceled. They need to be canceled, and I hate cancel culture, but god damn it, I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. God damn it, I'm sick and tired of hearing how every single day the crazy hate mobs are mad about something. And it's all something that they either don't understand, are not smart enough to interpret, something that they just are not mature enough to take responsibility for themselves and learn something by. And they want to go around controlling and reeing and screaming and complaining because it's just so much easier, isn't it, than, I don't know, taking some responsibility for their own actions. This is just another desperate plea for attention from The Simpsons, which is a dying, flopping, flailing, thrashing about sort of monster that I think if we finally just poke it, it'll just go away for once and for all. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I am MechaRandom42, and I will see you guys on the next video, live stream, or wherever. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
Call me a killjoy, but I think that because this is not to my taste, no one else should be able to enjoy it.
I'm all over that.